Top news stories on Shelby this week. A company's headquarters in Shelby, Snyder passed a new law, and a parole bill. All these stories and much more. But first, back to that top news story. Forey Automation, a major manufacturing company in Shelby, was awarded a tax exemption, which will bring over 50 more jobs to the area. The agreement was approved by the board and is a 12-year plan for a new 156,000 square foot building located on 23 Mile. Forey sold their other building that was about half the size. Forey is in the middle of relocating and will continue to do so over the next 2 months. Now they're remodeling. Mike Beck from Forey tells us more about the new jobs, a tax exemption, and the new headquarters purchased in July.
Tied to the incentive is a commitment that we would create and sustain 52 additional jobs here, and we're well on the way. We've added 20 jobs since the agreement, and based on the square footage of the facility and our forecast, we're going to need more than 52. The challenge will be finding the qualified talent.
So engineers, take a look at Forey. They've got jobs to fill.
Diversifying our business into aerospace and non-automotive. And we're proud to announce that this coming year, 2016, we project that 20% of our annual sales will be non-automotive, and in fact will be in aerospace, using a product that we developed and designed here in Shelby Township, which is an AGV, an automated guided vehicle. And it's a product that is going to be in widespread use, we believe, in aerospace, transforming the way they build planes. And we're excited that that's going to be a significant part of our business.
Supervisor Rick Stathakis tells us more about this tax break and new jobs.
We're just very happy that they have selected Shelby Township to, for their big investment. As you know, they have gone from 35,000 square feet to more than 150. So we're happy about that. They're a great corporate, a lot of corporate support from them, and we're happy they're here. We've got some great developers like Gene D'Agostini and some others who have just done a great job advertising Shelby Township, but also our economic committee has put us out there on the World Wide Web. We're out there, and people are finding out about Shelby Township, how great of a place it is to live and also to do business. We already have the great leaders here like Forey. It's become a manufacturing hub in Shelby Township. So when you want the talent, the engineers, and when you want the great leadership that Forey actually has, you tend to gravitate around that, and that's why we're attracting a lot of people like Paslon and some other great companies here in Shelby Township.
Forey's also been a part of Macomb's National Manufacturing Day, hosting a tour for high school students interested in learning more about the manufacturing field. A great company for Shelby. Earlier this week, Governor Rick Snyder signed a new bipartisan 8-bill package that revises Michigan's civil asset forfeiture laws, making it harder for law enforcement authorities to retain cars, boats, and cash seized as part of criminal investigations that do not result in criminal charges. The package raises the standard of proof required by police and prosecutors to seize property under Michigan's civil asset forfeiture laws. Republican State Representative Pete Lucido also supported this bill. Standards for property forfeitures for drug and gambling crimes has also been raised. This new bill brings more transparency to the legal system. A new House bill has been introduced, Presumptive Parole, which allows prisoners to be released from jail after their minimum sentence has been filled. Reasoning for this bill? Too many prisoners, which means too much money spent. But more parolees in the community means more potential crime. These following violent crimes are not exempt: murder in the second, manslaughter, assault with attempt to murder, assault with attempt to maim, general mayhem, armed robbery, carjacking, kidnapping, prisoner hostage, child enticement. All those would be eligible for parole after their minimum sentence.
This is a very dangerous situation, and it did come out of the State House. It is in the Senate right now. We had a closed caucus the other day on this matter, and I will tell you, I don't think there's an appetite in the Senate to pass this bill.
Here's some more numbers. 43,000 people are in Michigan prisons. 70% of prisoners have been convicted of violent offenses and assaultive crimes. Brandenburg says there's better ways to save money than this bill. A new attorney for one of the young men in the Stony Creek crash is asking for more time, 60 days to be exact. The judge in 42 District Court in Romeo granted Gregory Bobchick's new attorney more time to gather information and adjourn motions and a pretrial conference until December 17th. Bobchick's new attorney, David Grime, met with Washington Township Prosecutor Colleen O'Connor Warden and provided medical care records for Bobchick. Grime did not get the 60-day adjournment he requested, but got an extension after saying Bobchick has been showing very good behavior. He's been showing up to drug testing, to court, and testing clean. Bobchick will continue random drug tests since a warrant was issued to Bobchick and Joseph Nara with minor in possession of alcohol at the time of the fatal car crash that happened May 8th at Stony Creek. Bobchick and Nara were passengers in the car. That misdemeanor brings a $100 fine or a 90-day jail sentence. Both of these 18-year-old Shelby Township residents are the only two people that survived that crash, killing the 3 other passengers. 2 Macomb County Sheriff officers had a drunk driver pulled over early Saturday morning when a second drunk driver sideswiped both the deputies' vehicles and the other car. Dispatchers had alerted the deputies of a suspected drunk driver at 12:30 a.m. Saturday morning going southbound on Romeo Plank in a Ford Mustang. The car was spotted and stopped on Romeo Plank near 22 Mile. The Sterling Heights man was arrested and placed in the back of one of the patrol cars. Then, a Sterling Heights man driving a Mercury Mountaineer drove past and hit both patrol cars before hitting the Mustang and pushing it into a ditch, where it too stopped. No one was hurt, but one of the patrol cars has been taken out of service because of that damage. Coming up, spooky ghosts in Shelby, oil drilling update, and Nick.
A friendly online game is now under fire. Coming up, I'll tell you how this could affect you at home.
That story and more after the break.
Hannah, is everything okay in there?
Just a minute, Grandma.
Ghosts and goblins came out to Shelby recently. Stacy Santatera tells us more.
The Shelby Township Parks and Recreation Department played host recently at the Riverbends Park Halloween Spooktacular.
Celebrating Halloween a little bit early, having fun with the kids. We've got games going on. The Eisenhower High School Key Club is here. The volunteers are running the games for us, and the kids get candy when they play their games. We've got crafts going on under the shelter, as well as some refreshments, and we have a photo booth. The kids can get their pictures taken. And there's also one of our sponsors is here, Henry Ford Macomb Hospitals. They're here with the spinning the wheel game, and kids can win prizes, and they helped us put on this event this year. We also have Genesis Credit Union was a sponsor this year. They weren't able to make it out to the event this time, but they're here in spirit, so.
Residents entered at their own risk as the day began with a trunk or treat. Residents pulled out all the stops to showcase their creativity.
It's many years actually in the making. I would say about 3, 4 that we've been carving. This is all hand carved, all hand done. It's made out of foam. That's so it's lightweight. We can transport it. This is the main artist right here, my sister and Catherine Fogarty. Okay. And we just love Halloween.
Ghosts, goblins, princesses, and pirates, along with lots of other costume kids, came out for an afternoon of games and goodies galore.
What do you like about Halloween, Raiden?
Candy.
What about you?
Same thing, getting candy.
What's your favorite candy to get?
don't really know.
I like chocolate. Do you like chocolate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you?
Candy and Reese's. Going trick-or-treating.
What about you?
Getting lots of candy.
What kind of candy do you like?
Chocolate.
Chocolate. What about you?
I like going outdoors for trick-or-treating because it's fun to me, and when I get candy, it makes me sweet.
Another fun-filled free family event hosted by the Shelby Township PRM department. May our best wishes go out to you for a happy Halloween. For Shelby This Week, I'm Stacy Sansatera.
All right, Stacy, looks like it was a fun but cold day. The new Great Lakes Water Authority is in charge of managing water and sewer in Detroit's suburbs. After a 5-month search, Sue McCormick will be the first appointed person on that board as Chief Executive Officer. The GLWA will lease suburban water assets from Detroit for $50 million a year for 40 years, money that will go to upgrade Detroit's aging system.
The Great Lakes Water Authority is nothing more than a new entity in name only, so all we've really done, or all they've done, is transferred the contracts from Detroit Water and Sewers Department to Great Lakes Water Authority. It's just a transfer of contracts. The contracts remain the same. I wish we could change them. We try to, but to no avail. But I do want to say the county, especially Mr. Hackle, has done everything that he could do, as well as our representative on the board of the Great Lakes Water Authority. But again, we were not able to really do anything that we wanted. Yes, we are paying too much for water. And yes, there's too much money going for pensions and unpaid water bills, not in Shelby Township, but other cities. And we're not happy about that. But unfortunately, at this point, there's not a lot we can do about it.
Great Lakes Water Authority will now build up the suburban water and sewer infrastructure, including treatment plants and pipelines. Shelby Township knows all too well the subject of exploratory drilling. Over the last year, a subdivision near 25 in DeQuinder was tapped for testing of oil. That, in turn, brought a group together called Citizens Against Residential Drilling. Local officials rallied together against the company West Bay Exploration after they started setting up shop just under 1,000 feet from the front doorsteps of homes in Shelby. Now, here's an update. Surface oil drilling leases are being recorded right next to us in Rochester Hills. A group called Don't Drill the Hills has found contracts that allow rigs at properties on Adams and Tinkin Roads, just across from Rochester Hills Community Schools. There's a back and forth battle since West Bay Company has done nothing illegal, giving all the legal documents, but Rochester Hills officials and residents want the company out of their town. Shelby TV will keep you posted on this drilling issue. As we recently reported, the Humane Society of Macomb on 22 Mile got some bad press after protesters relentlessly marched outside their doors, urging for improvements in the company after rescue groups, previous employees, and residents allegedly saw horrible conditions for the animals behind closed doors. Now, we have an update for you. Progress is being made at this shelter. Major improvements with rescue groups for more pet adoptions and a better process to increase adoptions has been made. According to CNG newspaper, the shelter's save rate has gone from 34% up to 95%. And the shelter is taking ideas from the Michigan Pet Fund Alliance Group. Protesters and furry friends alike applaud this progress. Some Shelby residents will weigh in on school millages for Rochester and Romeo school districts at the November 3rd special elections. Voters in Precinct 11, which includes the area of west of Ryan Road and between 23 Mile and Auburn Road, and the area surrounding 22 Mile Road, Shelby Road, and Mound Road, will be presented with a millage for Rochester Community School District. The estimated millage, 1.82 mills, will serve the purpose of erecting, furnishing, and equipping school facilities and purchasing school buses. Voters in the Precinct 14 and 17, covering 2 square miles between Mound Road to Jewel Road and 26 Mile to 24 Mile Road, will be presented with a millage for Romeo Community Schools. The proposed 1.25 millage will be used to make infrastructure improvements. Shelby Township residents can obtain more information on the upcoming November 3rd elections by visiting the website on your screen or by contacting the clerk's office. Utica City Council voted to renew the city's moratorium on medical marijuana dispensaries, suspending the activity in the area. The moratorium was instilled back in 2010 to give the city time to see how other municipalities would act after Michigan became one of 14 states to legalize marijuana for medicinal purposes. The moratorium has since been renewed every year. Livonia was one of the first cities to pass a similar moratorium. Shelby Township adopted its own medical marijuana moratorium last February, regulating dispensing, growth, and sale of medical marijuana. The world of sports is well known, but there's another fantasy world where fantasy football leagues team up. Nick Buckler reports.
It's a lot of fun.
What started as fun around the office for bragging rights has turned into so much more. Fantasy sports across America has turned into a multi-billion-dollar industry and is under fire in the national spotlight. FanDuel and DraftKings are one-day fantasy sports companies that are under current FBI investigation after a data leak from one DraftKings employee that resulted in that employee winning $350,000. The floodgates opened, and the public wants an explanation.
I do find it a little sketchy, but, he had a little bit of advantage over us, but it still takes a lot of, luck.
Although DraftKings wouldn't comment on that instance, they did comment and say that fantasy sports is not considered gambling and their operation is not illegal. However, that's not the case in Arizona, Iowa, Louisiana, Montana, Nevada, and Washington, where it is considered illegal and the sites have been banned.
If it starts to become a bigger problem in different states, even here in Michigan, I think I'm just going to keep it safe and play fantasy football just with my buddies and all that, knowing that nothing's really sketchy about anything.
FanDuel and DraftKings are losing revenue in bunches of late. Since the investigation began, they have been dropped from all NCAA sports broadcasts, and airtime has been limited on NBC. Every week, the number of players on these sites has decreased drastically. Local players have mixed feelings about one-day fantasy sports.
I'm in about 4 leagues, and I think I'm starting to like daily fantasy football better. 2 of the leagues I won't make the playoffs that I'm in, but 2 I might, so I'm still in it. But it's nice to be able to change the pace, change the players every week. So if I lived in Nevada and there's a petition out right now and I actually filled it out, I don't think it should go away. It's a lot of big things are coming with daily fantasy football.
And one thing a lot of people, including myself, like with daily fantasy football is you're not tied down to a certain team, like you were saying earlier, for a whole season. And if you like a certain quarterback one week, you can pick him up, but you might have to cut someone else to hit your salary cap. So it's fun because you almost feel like you're the general manager of a team every single week.
Exactly. And, we have a team like the Lions, you get tired of watching them. It makes all the other games fun.
As far as what the future holds for these sites, they have 3 options. They could apply for a gambling license, they could try to challenge the board's ruling, or simply stay as is and hope for the best. We'll keep you up to date on this investigation. I'm Nick Buckler for Shelby This Week.
All right, Nick, and hopefully I win our fantasy football with my KO Pizza team. There's a great sport called disc golf, an outdoor game that takes place on a woodsy course. Shelby has their own course at Riverbends Park. Teams came out one chilly morning recently to help support a local fundraiser and play a round of disc golf.
Are you Black 10?
We are doing our 2nd annual Riverbends fundraiser that's supporting the Shelby Township Special Olympics Foundation. It's a pretty tough course. It's pretty tight. It's very, very wooded in some areas, and the river's by it in some areas. And to maintain the course, knowing you got to deal with all of the elements that Mother Nature throws at us here in Michigan. The river sometimes eats away at some of the land, and these guys are still maintaining it, doing a great job both on the upper and the lower sections of the park.
This disc golf course has been here for like 30 years, and disc golf has been around for just about as long too. There's courses everywhere from Shelby Township to even like Royal Oak and Troy. There's a lot of courses like really close to us, and this is just pretty much they put it in for us. You know, the people that love the sport and want the sport to grow will come out, do some work, and you know, get permission from the city and put courses in parks, and it's great. You know, it's a fun sport, and like I said, it's a good place to meet new people and, you know, experience something at a lesser rate than, say, like regular golf. It started off as a hobby, yes, but now it's become more of an addiction. You know, we all love to be out here, and you know, it's almost become like a tight little family that we have, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
This isn't a popular sport, but it's gaining momentum. Disc golf is similar to traditional golf. Instead of a ball and clubs, players use a flying disc. As one player mentioned, this sport was formed back in the 1970s. We have a road construction update for you. I'll start with the good news. 22-mile road from Ryan to Shelby is now open. That area at 22 just west of Shelby Road was closed for repairs. And the Van Dyke and 24-mile road intersection will be completely shut down beginning Friday, October 30th at 9 p.m. until Monday, November 2nd at 6 a.m. This will be the last intersection in the 24-mile road Detroit Water and Sewage Department water main project. In this week's job hunt, we've got jobs around Shelby for you. Hamlin Pub in Shelby is looking for barbacks, servers, and cooks. You need at least 1 year of restaurant experience to apply. Next job, Merritt Hall is preparing for the winter and looking for commercial snowplow drivers. You must have 2 or more years experience and have a valid chauffeur's driver's license and a clean record. Next job, Citizens Bank is looking for a licensed banker with a life and health insurance license. You need to be able to drive sales and success and help grow your capabilities. That's this week's job hunt. For those jobs and more, go to shelbytv.org. And coming up, tricks and treats are around the corner. We'll tell you more after the break.
Get your ass. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today, I'm just an aluminum can, but one day, I could be a stadium.
There were good vibes at the Shelby Library recently. A psychic medium stopped by Shelby to visit with locals and talk about her experiences of talking with spirits. Christy Robinette, a local medium, also has a new book where our loved ones on the other side give us signs that it is a wonderful afterlife.
I am a psychic medium, which means that I talk to those on the other side and they give me information that I give to my clients, and I love what I do. I have a corporate background, I have a college degree, but I've seen spirits since I was 3 years old. So about 10 years ago I quit my real job and started doing this and writing books.
This is Robinette's 4th year in a row speaking at Shelby Library during the Halloween month of October. This is an adult service that's brought to our township. A good crowd came out of those interested in the supernatural. Topics of conversation range from ghost hunting, dream interpretation, and spirit guiding. Robinette says whether we realize it or not, family and even pets are always around. You're never alone. And every year, we like to take a look at the hard work of Shelby residents' Halloween decorations. This year, cameraman Charlie Cadado toured Shelby, seeking out the best Halloween decorations. We close this program with those spooky sights. Thanks for watching.